and within this video session we're going to talk about customer service mistakes. And everything we share here are kind of the top mistakes, most common mistakes, and most costly mistakes that clients I've worked with have made all the time, businesses I've ran in the past and are currently running, mistakes that our team has made in the past and we don't want to make again. And I'm hoping by sharing these mistakes here that you and your customer service team or your small business can also avoid these same mistakes. So the first mistake is fighting refunds. Most of the time, if you build a valuable service or product, no matter how valuable it is, somewhere between 2 and 3%, or maybe even up to 7 or 8% of people will either misread what you're offering. Maybe you're in a niche where the words have double meanings and you haven't made it clear enough on your website, or even if you've done a perfect job on those levels, some people simply will not be happy with your product for one reason or another, and you'll get refunds. And what I found is that there's basically there's a huge benefit to getting feedback from these people who give you refunds. You might find over time that half of them were preventable. Maybe you could have quicker customer service, maybe your phone number needs to be easier to find, maybe your product needs to be more simple and easy to navigate so people get the value from it more simply. But some of the refunds cannot be prevented. So it's important to use refunds for feedback, but then after you've gotten that value from the refund, the feedback part of it, that you just process a refund and move on with your business. If you fight someone and argue with them about your product, then it's going to be a huge waste of your time. Most of the time you're not going to convince people to keep your product or not refund, and it can make it look like you don't want to live up to your refund promises or your guarantees that are posted publicly on your website. So at most you might send one email that says, if you'd like, we can process this refund immediately today. It can be all completed. Please just confirm. But just so you know, this is how you access that part of the product. Here are the benefits, and here's what other people have said about it after using it. But that is the farthest I would go in fighting any type of refund. It's just not worth the time. If you have a good service or product, most people will pay for it and not refund. Another tip or a common customer service mistake is arguing with customers in general. They might have a question about your product before they buy it, and if you're just starting your business now, you might think it sounds funny to ever argue with a potential customer. But the truth is that somebody might present a very argumentative email or attack what you're doing or say something's not credible or say something that is, maybe it's not traditional, or maybe you're competing with their business and they don't like it. There'll always be some emails out there which are argumentative in nature, and no matter who they're from, it's always best to take the high road, send back a simple response that just sticks to the facts or what's happened in a very simple manner, and then move on with your day. And many times actually in our business, if there's a potential client and they're extremely argumentative or aggressive for some reason and we can't figure out why, we'll just simply archive the email and move on with our day. We don't need to spend time with the 1% of people who are just out firing off angry emails. So I would suggest just moving on from those types of emails and move on with your day. Once you have email volume, our company actually gets between 2,000 and 3,000 emails a week, and I think after you move past just 200 or 300 emails a week, you'll start to see some of these issues and potential mistakes we're talking about here today come up in your business. The next mistake here is outsourcing too quickly. It can be tempting to outsource your customer service to a customer service specialty team or somebody you might find on elance.com, and while that is an option, you want to make sure not do it too quickly for a few reasons. One is if you get constant questions about the same thing, then that typically means that your website is not very clear about that one thing. Next is that all the questions you get can be great research and feedback for your team on how to improve the frequently asked questions section of your website. And if you run a blog or a newsletter of some type, you can customize your blog topics, your article topics to match all those questions that you're getting. So if you have your run dry on topics to write about, you can just look through your past customer questions and write articles that help clarify those points. The next mistake that's often made is defending your brands and your brand reputation within forums and Twitter and other places to the point where you're wasting your company's time by doing so. It's always good to manage your company brand using Google Alerts or by searching yourself on Google for your brand name with quotes around each side of it. And you can oftentimes address issues and start lively conversations and engage people in your brand and your business in a much more personal way than you could over email, in a much more public way. But sometimes you'll get involved in conversations that go 15, 20, 30 forum posts long, and it can become a huge time suck. And so it's best to participate. I think have 3, 4, 5, 7 maybe participations within a single forum or discussion thread, and then again move on, because everything has diminishing returns after a while. You could talk to the same person forever within this forum, and it can waste a lot of your time that could be spent serving other potential customers. Another customer service mistake is not being generous enough with somebody when they are about to refund. So if you sense that somebody is not happy with a product and they're not enjoying something, or they found a mistake in your product, or they wish it had something and it doesn't, there are a few things you could do to keep them as a customer. It could be sending them an extra audio program, it could be doing a personal coaching call with them, giving them extra feedback on something, giving them access to a membership website that you have related to your business. Maybe it's even giving them a $20 or $50 refund for catching a mistake on your website that helps improve your business. So there's many things you can do, and once you do a lot of customer service and you see a huge volume of emails, you can start to get a sense for how people are feeling about your business behind that email, and you're much better off being proactive and giving that customer something of value because they had some hassle in their experience. Give them something of value that doesn't cost your company very much, and it could keep them as a long-term customer and keep them very loyal as well. The last mistake, or last two mistakes I have down here, the first one is not having a publicly listed phone number on your website. This can seem very simple and basic, but trust me, many internet-based companies, because they have many different websites or a small team, lots of small businesses don't have a readily available phone number on their website. I found it best to put the phone number right at the top of the website, available on all pages, and if you can't do that, at least have a click to chat button available and then a phone number available on your contact us page. And the final mistake I want to share here today is that customer service should not be seen as a cost center, it should be seen as a sales operation. If you serve your customers well, they're going to spread the word about your organization, and that's the best type of marketing you can have. Also, if it's a potential client and they have a problem, an issue, or a question, it's a great opportunity to improve your website, and it's a great opportunity to answer their question in a way that kind of embeds some marketing, some sales, so that you're positioning your brand as being, the premier brand or the most valuable brand within your market while fully answering their question. So I hope these customer service mistakes will help you improve the performance of your customer team or your small business, and thank you for joining us today.